and now she is a very successful fitness model and women's rights activist. And now this is her first, Bienvenido event, so let's give it up for India.
Thank you so much. So yes, I was law enforcement in actually Broward County, so not too far from here. So thank you all for coming. It makes me so happy to be able to see a group of people, that share the same values and want to see good for the country that we live in. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and some of my beliefs and values. So, I was born in the Dominican Republic. Woo! Dominicanos? Okay, there we go. So I was born in the Dominican Republic. When I was 3 years old, my parents moved legally to the United States because my father wanted to give us a better life. I mean, what better country, than the US? There's countless opportunities for minorities. New culture, new country, new language. That's a lot. But my father was determined to accomplish the goal that he set for his family by coming here. And he adapted. He made it happen. I remember going to work with my dad. And work with my dad when I was a little girl at this point in our life was me hanging out at the park, rolling around in the grass, while he sold little toys and trinkets from the trunk of his car. I'm talking about 50-cent toys, $1 little random things. He was hustling, but he was making ends meet. We had food on the table, we had a roof over our head, and we were grateful for that. We were rich. You see, my dad always said something that stuck with me, and I want to share with all of you. Being rich isn't defined by the amount of money that you have or the material things that you possess. Being rich is something that you feel in the soul. It comes from the soul. And I wanted to share that with you because in today's society, it's so easy for us to lose sight of what's really important. My father continued to work hard night and day until he bought his first bodega. Do we know what a bodega is? So he bought his first bodega, then it was his second bodega, third bodega, fourth bodega. And finally, he accomplished a long-term goal of building and opening the first Hispanic supermarket in Providence, Rhode Island. Literally 2 miles from the park where he used to sell those little trinkets out of the trunk. My mother is a psychologist in the Dominican Republic. She loved her career, but she left it. She left her career to focus on her family and raise us. When we moved here, she didn't have to do anything. My dad was taking care of all of the financials, but she wanted more. Knowing very, very little English and had this huge fear of public speaking, she went on to get her psychology degree here in her new home, the United States of America. Woo! She did it. She did it. She graduated with an over 3.0 GPA, raising 3 little girls at home practically by herself because my father was working night and day. We have opportunities, and if you want something bad enough, you're going to make it happen. You can make it happen, but that's completely up to you, and you have to have the heart for it. We are so grateful to have been able to come to a free country, become citizens, and thrive in a capitalist economy. It sickens me to see the system that brought prosperity to my family and so many others threatened by socialism, which we all know leads to communism, and that would just be failure to our amazing nation. I have have notes, you guys, because homegirl can talk a lot, and we're a limited amount of time, so I gotta hit my points. We're the biggest minority group in the United States. That's powerful. That's powerful. We have to do our part. We have to vote. We have to defend and protect our freedom and our rights as citizens of the United States. After high school, I wanted to serve our country. I was actually back and forth speaking to a Marines recruiter, ready to enlist. I told my mother, and she freaked out. She was not having it. It wasn't because she didn't want me to serve our country. She was just afraid that her oldest daughter would be shipped to war. I understand that. I didn't enlist, but I was able to serve my community by becoming a law enforcement officer. Woo! That's the time, around that time is when I actually took an interest in politics and current events. Through my experiences as a police officer and the research that I had done, it dawned on me, my entire life we were told, I was told by my family that we were Democrats and that that's what we voted as. Yet, we were the furthest things from Democrats. Our family, we had a conservative family. We were a conservative family with Christian values. So why was I told that? Why were so many of us told that? Well, hint, hint, mainstream media and lack of research. Does anybody here know somebody, or maybe it was you at some point, that, whatever you see or that person sees on the news is 100% real life, don't question them, it is all true.
Yep.
Come on, we're Latinos here, I know there's more of you. So that is 100% my grandmother till this day. My grandma worships the news, and let's be real, there's only a couple of news channels that are in Spanish. So, it's to the point where when we were younger and we were talking about careers, I want to be this, I want to be that, she would say, no. You need to be on the news, you need to become a news reporter because that's where it's at. Okay, grandma. But just to show just how much it had her, control of her. It's not just her, there are a lot of others who also think this way. But they don't know that there's another side of things. It's important for us to be a voice. It's important for us to plant seeds. We don't force anybody to do anything or believe what we believe in just because we do. No, we don't do that. But we do talk about it, and we do voice our opinions and our beliefs. And you know what? You never knew who you're going to influence. I started really talking about, my views when it comes to specific issues a few months ago. And I got a lot of hate for it, yes, but I don't care. Because you know what? It's more important for me to speak my truth and to be able to help others as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. Woo!
Being a police officer, I became familiar with carrying guns. I also saw firsthand the amount of violence and crimes that occur every single day that go unheard of. It is our constitutional right to bear arms.
That's right.
My family means everything to me, as I'm sure your families mean everything to you. And I would do anything to protect my family. Getting rid of guns isn't going to solve anything. All it does is put law-abiding citizens like us at a disadvantage. And if God forbid we are ever attacked or in a situation where there is an evil person with bad intentions, how do we defend ourselves against someone with guns? We can't use our hands. I could go on and on. But the last thing that I want to touch on is something that I am very, very, very passionate about. I feel very strongly about. It's a movement that is growing, and it fills my heart to see it growing, and that is the pro-life movement. Abortion is not health care. Killing an innocent baby because the mother or father simply do not want it or we're not ready for it is not okay, and that will never be health care. Abortion is the ultimate exploitation of women.
Yep.
It's disgusting to see how it's all being twisted. If the far left, if the left can convince you that killing your children is okay and completely normal, we have a big problem.
Yep.
Women empowerment is something that is positive. Yet lately all we seem to see is that feminists and feminism is about encouraging women to abort their babies. Women empowerment is a positive thing. Women empowerment is about raising women up, having them, helping them at their weakest point when they feel that they can't move forward, and helping them realize the strength and the capabilities that they possess, that there are options and that they will get through what they're going through right now because we are strong. Women empowerment is a positive thing, and it never involves pushing a woman into a corner, taking advantage of women in crisis, telling them that getting an abortion, it takes a few minutes, and then they can go on to live happy lives. Do they tell you about post-abortive depression, post-abortive guilt, post-abortive suicide, post-abortive substance abuse? What happens after? What happens afterwards? They don't tell you about that. Pro-life is pro-woman. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, India. That was amazing. Very touching. You know, one of the things in running my Instagram account, there's a lot of people in politics, a lot of people on the right that they love to throw around statistics. You know, if socialism comes, your tax rates are going to be 45% and your paycheck is going to be... And I just always been a believer in the power of a good story, right? And I'm somewhat new to Florida. I've been here a couple years. And I came down to Miami a year ago and I met with a friend. They followed me and I met their mother, and she came here from Cuba. She fled from Cuba when Fidel